people who have actually won a lifetime supply of something. What was the supply you won and how long did it actually last? Story 1. When I was a little kid, my family and I happened to move to a new city, and the first or second night there, we decided to try a new Chinese restaurant nearby. We didn't realize it was the inaugural evening, but there weren't very many customers. Yet, the owner of the table waited on us himself, and he was very sweet and friendly. Had just immigrated from China recently. He gave my family a free voucher to eat there for free for life, since we were one of the few people actually to show up at all that night. I remember it was a big golden ticket like Willy Wonka. Sadly, the restaurant closed within a year. I always wonder how he's doing. My family was very poor back then, and we would go there every month, which felt special. I'm sure it wasn't the greatest Chinese food in the world, but I still remember how the orange chicken tasted. Story 2. My father played a game on teletext back in the days and won a lifetime supply of some beer. However, they cheated him and only sent him a party keg. My dad was a programmer, so he wrote a program which played for his cards on teletext. If the program was about to lose because of bad cards, it quits the channel and logged in automatically again for the next run. The program was playing day and night, and after some weeks, he had won several TV sets, video cameras, cruises, you name it. Eventually, the organizer of the game locked my father out, which was illegal. So, he sued the company which organized the game and reached an agreement. They paid him an amount of about $10,000, and he never played again. So instead of a lifetime supply of beer, he got a lot of stuff, and this is why I, as a teenager, had my own video camera. Which at this time was so expensive that people had to lease them. Story 3. Before I was born, my father won a lifetime supply of free Schick disposable razors. Growing up, I saw them all the time, and even now, 30 plus years later, he still has a full box of them in the garage. Unfortunately, the quality of the razors is pretty terrible, and my father has always had trouble with nicks and cuts. I've tried to introduce him to better razors like ones that feature a better cartridge, but is too stubborn to make the switch. Story 4. My wife didn't win, but she has free standard oil changes for the life of one of our cars at a popular chain mechanic. Apparently, a few years ago she had an issue with her car, and the owner said, "If we can't fix it, I'll give you free oil changes for the life of the car." Well, they couldn't fix whatever it was, so now we get the free changes. It's a Honda, so life of the car is gonna be a long time. Business has cycled through management a few times and it's still on it, so we are lucky. Story 5. In elementary school I got the option to choose a lifetime supply of chocolate milk or a cruise vacation. My parents chose the cruise vacation when I wanted to choose the chalky milk instead. They ended up going without me, which hurt my feelings. I'm financially free now and travel every month, and whenever they asked me to bring them along I always bring it up. Story 6. Ryanair, a European budget airline, awarded its millionth passenger free flights for life. After 9 years, they reneged on the deal, so she took them to court. The judge awarded her €60,000 to buy her own flights. Her legal costs were more than 3 times that, but Ryanair had to pay those as well. Given the relatively low cost of Ryanair flights, €60,000 probably buys her at least 6 flights a year for the next 50 years. Story 7. I won a year of free chula. It's a fast casual Indian restaurant. They give a year of free food via a coupon book with 52 cards for free meals to the first 100 customers at any location. I saw that the line was short on the way to work and called everyone in the office to get in line. We had all our business meetings at Chula for a year, with the company paying for meals when people ran out of coupons, didn't have them, or we hired anyone new. The food was perfect because if you ate vegan, paleo, gluten-free, or any combination, there was something on the menu you could eat. We still use them for company catering because everyone likes the options. Story 8. Not me, but my grandpa won a lifetime supply of Altoids back in the early 2000s. They sent him a box with like 200 tins in it, and that was it. I remember when we went to his house, he gave me like a dozen of them. Also, when the Moe's opened up near me a couple years back, my brother staked out overnight with some friends because the first 100 customers got a year's supply of burritos. They gave him a card that could be used for 1 free burrito a day for a year. I think he went like every day for 3 weeks straight and hasn't gone back since. Story 9. I took my kids to a pizza buffet place when they received a free kids meal coupon for good grades. The cashier mistakenly charged us for the meals. When the manager came out to correct the transaction, I said he could just return the coupon and not worry about it. He gave us an entire stack, about 50 of unused coupons that were attached together like a checkbook. We got free kids' meals until they obviously reached the age limit. Story 10. Not necessarily one, but I bought a lifetime membership at one of my favorite nightclubs and concert venues early in the pandemic. They released a limited amount as a COVID fundraiser, and they went fast, and will likely never do something like it again, so it feels a bit like I won. Came with free entry plus 1 coat check and 2 drink tickets at every event at the venue, even sold out ones for life. A couple years out, I've gotten more value than the cost. I'm still on the list for every event, and most of the staff there know me, partly because I'm there a lot, and also because I tip well on those drink tickets. I'll often just drop by for random events, or artists I'd never heard of, or dip in for a half hour at a sold-out event with a $50 plus door cover just to say hello to some friends. I imagine someday the venue will close up shop and my lifetime membership will close with it. Story 11. When I was a kid, I won a contest online which included a lifetime supply of Hubba Bubba bubble tape. I don't remember the exact amount, but I think it was about a dozen boxes of gum. They also sent me a small boom box and a hockey jersey with the Hubba Bubba logo on it. I got sick of it pretty quickly and it had a shelf life. A friend and I wound up using it all for a school project where we had to make a model of the town from the book The Outsiders. We made the entire model out of gum and it was disgusting. Our jaws got sore from chewing all the gum, so we wound up dipping it in water instead. Our teacher docked us points for creativity. 20 years later, and I'm still pretty mad about that. Story 12. My parents did. Twice in a relatively short period of time. The first was at a fair when I was in high school. They advertised it as a lifetime supply of ice cream sandwiches. They ended up giving us 100 boxes all at once right there on a warm July day. My mom was only able to collect at the end of the day, so there weren't even that many people to hand them out to. We got home and had about 60 left after giving away as much as possible and throwing out what didn't fit in our freezer. I played lots of sports, so I ate a lot, and my parents just said I could eat as much as I wanted anytime I wanted. I went through 60 boxes in a couple of months. That was a good time, but not so good for my weight. The second was when they bought an expensive microwave about a year later and won a 5-year supply of microwave popcorn. Basically the same thing happened. We got a huge box with like 200 packages and I was told to eat as much as I wanted. After living in a house that smelled like popcorn for a few weeks, my parents just threw the rest in the garbage. Story 13. I won a lifetime of free oil changes for my car. It was during a sale the dealership was having where you had to take a photo with your pet, and the person who most resembled their pet won. I don't know if I should feel happy or concerned about that. What they did fail to mention is that it was a lifetime oil changes for the vehicle I had, and I couldn't transfer it to anyone else. So when my dad took over my car loan, they dropped that little tidbit of info on us. Only really lasted me for about 2 oil changes. Story 14. My mum won a lifetime supply of Surf, the washing powder. Basically, we got 72 8 kilograms boxes all at once on a pallet from some kind of raffle competition. Ended up selling 60 boxes for about £10 each to corner shops and splitting the rest with some family. She didn't have enough room and didn't even remember entering the competition itself. There was also a bunch of washing liquids and crap from the rest of their range, one of each type too. Story 15. As a consolation prize for losing on a TV game show, I was given a popcorn popper, a little girl's bicycle, and a lifetime supply of Dinty beef stew. I gave the popcorn popper as a Christmas present and sold the bicycle. When the beef stew arrived, it was one case of 12 cans. After trying the first can, I realized that the other 11 would indeed last me a lifetime. Story 16. Back in 1977, when I was 13 years old, I won a contest for a lifetime supply of models from Revel. A semi-truck pulled up to our house in a very quiet suburban neighborhood and proceeded to unload 4 pallets of plastic models in the driveway. There were hundreds of models, probably one of everything they offered in their catalog at the time. I kept about 2 dozen, which kept me busy for a year or so. My father helped by finding a local retail hobby store to buy the rest of them at a very favorable price so we could just get rid of them. He put the money into a US savings bonds for me, which I cashed out many years later to use for a down payment on my first new car. Story 17. When I was a kid 30 years ago, my dad said he'd won free pizza coupons, and he had a massive stack of these little business cards, each for a free large pizza. My dad said we had to be careful using them though, so we would only use them occasionally. I remember my dad sometimes makes me order the pizza and answer the door to get the free pizza, even though I was only 9. Looking back, my dad worked for a commercial printing company and was not exactly an upstanding citizen. I'm pretty sure he didn't win those cards. Story 18. I won a lifetime supply of AA and AAA batteries from a major Canadian tech retailer about 20 years ago. Thing is, batteries last a long time and there really isn't that much that I use batteries for. Hypothetically, I could start a black market battery business by just getting my free batteries and selling them to people in need, but it's just not worth the time. Even getting the batteries isn't worth the time. I have to get them to type in my name in their system, and there's a note by my name indicated that I get free batteries because I won a contest 20 years ago. And then they run and get their manager to look at it, because that looks suspicious. And then the manager looks at it and then asks me questions, and then they finally relent and give me my free batteries. Story 19. When I bought my bicycle, the shop policy was that any new bike purchased included free tune-ups for life. Personally, I thought this was a great business move because it got me back in the store regularly to redeem my tune-ups, kept my bike running smoothly, which kept me as an active cyclist. I also would regularly buy parts and avail service beyond the tune-up when I was there, which I was happy to do since I had a good relationship with the shop through this free tune-up deal. When the shop changed owners, they discontinued the tune-ups, even for people like me who had purchased their bike under these terms. I don't go there anymore. Story 20. This happened in the late 90s. A local bar ran a wet t-shirt contest where the girl who won would win a lifetime of free drinks at the bar. They also had cash prizes for second and third place. I don't remember how much, but it was a lot at the time. The result was a packed bar, tons of girls entered, and tons of guys spent money. My friend's girlfriend at the time, now his wife, won first place. She was stoked. He was excited. Within a couple of weeks, the building was condemned and torn down. Turns out the owners of the bar knew that the building was going to be condemned and just wanted to have one last party. Story 21. My uncle gets free Ben and Jerry's for life. He's been friends with the actual Ben and Jerry since before they opened the first shop. He has a card that says free ice cream for life, and he can get pints or cones at any scoop shop, at least locally. He also gets decks of free pint coupons that he can use at grocery stores and gas stations. When Unilever bought them out, they tried to buy back all the free ice cream for life cards. I guess it was a fairly generous offer because my uncle is one of only few that chose to keep the card. If you've gotten this far and enjoying the content, please leave a comment of your own story. We'd love to make a video of them in the future. Story 22. My parents won a lifetime supply of toiletries, soap, toilet tissue, and some other stuff. Once per quarter, we mail in the coupon and they send us another quarter worth of stuff. It's all institutional grade, like what you'd expect prisoners to use. Story 23. I won a lifetime supply of printer paper from a Canadian retailer based on an internet contest with the purchase of a Konica Minolta. I won, and I realized quickly that I don't need that much paper. They were sending me 2 reams a month. I moved and never updated my shipping address, so someone out there is getting free paper. Story 24. We won a lifetime supply of hate. My wife won $10,000 on Roll Up the Rim with Tim Hortons. She was super excited. She spoke on the phone with Tim Hortons. They said, "Everything sounds good, congrats, you will get an email confirmation soon." Instead, we got an email saying they had a technical issue and wouldn't be honoring her win. Needless to say, we have a lifetime supply of hate for them now. Story 25. I won free full body massages for life, which basically just translates to 2 massages a week. It was really good. I got addicted. I knew everyone who worked there and I got to experiment with all of them to see which were the best. Ended up fluctuating between 3 different staff towards the end. They would even train new staff on me for free because I spent so much time over there. Those training massages never cost me anything either or counted towards my 2 free massage a week limit. When the place closed down, I realized just how expensive massages were. I haven't had one in ages and I miss it so bad. Story 26. Not a lifetime supply, but I won a year supply of Chipotle entrees once. came as a stack of 52 free burrito cards with a gilded farmer embossed on one side and a unique code on the other. At the time, they didn't limit what I put on these freebies or when I used them, so I gave away a lot to friends, family, and the occasional homeless guy and told everyone to add guacamole and double meat and make the most of it. I did keep one as a memento, which I still think I should frame. Story 27. I once worked a job that had me purchase Subway sandwiches for mobile working crews and they let me keep the tickets. When you could fill the card up, you get free sandwiches. All the tickets were numbered and purchases were valid. After 2 years, I had enough tickets and receipts to redeem multiple sandwiches daily for at least 6 months if I wanted, and still accruing more. I started filling the cards and giving them to friends to eat a free lunch. Within 1 month, my friends and I were banned from every Subway in a 5-mile radius in Los Angeles. They put our pictures up on the wall and refused to honor the stamps, no matter who brought them in. Inside of another 2 years, Subway corporate cancelled the stamps altogether and no one would accept them. I couldn't even give them away to a food bank or the homeless to get a free sandwich. Thanks Subway. Story 28. I didn't really win it and it was only a year's supply. But I got a year's supply of Hot Pockets when I was 17 because I bit into a Hot Pocket that had no filling and I sent them an email pretending to be my mom complaining about it. To my surprise, they actually replied and sent me a golden coupon that was good for a year. I ate so many Hot Pockets that I hate them now and haven't had one since. Story 29. 18 years ago we won a lifetime of vet visits for my cat. They expected to give it to someone with an old pet, not a new kitten. The cat's still alive. The vet clinic has moved and rebranded 4 or 5 times, but they are still honoring the award. Story 30. When a new tropical smoothie cafe location opened in our neighborhood, they ran a promotion for free smoothies for a year for the first 50 people in line on opening day. My husband made me stand in line for 3 hours before they opened. We were 24th and 25th in line. The free smoothies for a year was limited to 1 smoothie per week. Still, we each had 52 free smoothies. Not a bad deal. Story 31. Won a lifetime supply of mini chocolate milk cartons during a milk day at school. If you opened a carton of milk and it mooed at you, you had to call the number on it and report that you have a mooing milk. That was in 2007. I'm still getting milk shipped to me but only my fiancé drinks it because I've grown to hate milk. Story 32. I won a year's worth of chicken from a Lebanese chicken shop. I was licking my lips at the thought of free chicken for a year, especially drowned in enough garlic dip to ward off Dracula himself. Reading the fine print though, it was only $20 a week for 52 weeks. You could drop $30 to $40 for one person easy in a sitting. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button and subscribe to Thread Talk for more content like this. Also, don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss out. Have a dope day and we'll see you in the next video. Cheers!